Hello, good afternoon, everybody. A warm welcome to all of you from the medical fraternity, both doctors as well as my colleagues, the pharmacists who have taken time out this afternoon to join us in this seminar or presentation that we have. I'm sure this is going to be worthwhile for you because we have with us here today three eminent speakers from NBTY USA, the parent holding company of Solgar. Let me introduce them. We have here with us Mr. Chanchal Chadha, Vice President, International Sales and Marketing, NBTY USA. Chanchal is a senior executive and comes with vast experience in general management, sales and marketing, gained through 30 years of experience with Merck and then with NBTY. Just to highlight some of his achievements, he was a member of the first ever New York State Trade Mission to China in the year 2005 under the leadership of the New York governor. And he also set up NBTY's China operations. Having completed a senior executive's course from Harvard, he also has attended an MBA workshop conducted by the American Management Association, New York. In 2014, he was invited by the US State Department of Commerce to visit the US Embassy in the United Arab Emirates to share his experience of the nutraceutical industry with the US Embassy staff from the MENA region. Chanchal lives in Long Island, New York, USA. Our second guest here, the second speaker, is Paul Chamberlain from UK. Paul is the Director of Nutrition and Education with Solgar. He has over 20 years of experience in the natural health sector. He co-owned a health food store with his wife in Eastern England. Originally joined Solgar in November 1999 as a field-based product advisor and worked for 10 years in a number of posts within the technical department and became technical director in 2004, the post he held until his departure in 2010. Paul returned to Solgar in 2014 after a 4-year break during which he did his master's in sports and exercise nutrition. He established a nutrition consultancy providing advice to sports teams and academics and individual athletes. Paul is a keen runner and enjoys training on the roads and trails in the beautiful Chiltern countryside around the Solgar office in UK. I'm sure he would enjoy the Oman countryside as well. The third speaker we have here today is Paul Nord, Manager Nutrition and Education Training with Solgar. He is a nutritional advisor for the past 14 years, regularly providing training sessions and lectures to Solgar retailers in UK. Paul has a master's in homeopathy and has also worked as a nutrition advisor for Solgar South Africa before moving to UK. His most recent achievement, a master's in personalized nutrition through the Center for Nutrition and Education in Lifestyle Management. He has just completed his nutritional therapy degree in 2015. Paul is married with one child. His interests include outdoor pursuits and was supposed to have completed his first triathlon in August. Did you do that? Oh, very nice. Okay. The fourth person on the dais doesn't need any introduction, very familiar face. Dinyar Dastur has been in Oman for the last 32 years, and he has more than 50 years of experience in the pharmaceutical industry. 5 decades of experience. Don't go by his looks, because he doesn't look, he still looks young because he's young at heart. He is supposed to be an authority on diabetes management because of his experience with Hext initially, and then of course Nordics no Nordisk. I'll now request the first speaker, Mr. Chanchal Chadha, to share his experiences. Before I do that, and before I request you to switch off your mobiles, let me switch off mine. Kindly put your mobiles on silent mode if possible, or switch it off. Any questions, if you could retain or reserve till the end of the session, that would be really nice. There will be a tea break in between the second and third talk. And I would request all of you, since you've already had this experience of selling Solgar products here, if there are any questions that the customers have raised and that you need to clarify with the speakers here today, please make a note of it, and you could put these questions to the speakers at the end of the session. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Pradeep, for your kind introductions, and Mr. Dastoor and his team for having us here. It is always a pleasure to be in Oman, such a beautiful country, and very friendly people in this part of the world. Whenever I have visited, I always shared my experience with Mr. Dastoor and Mr. Pradeep and Selva Kumar, that this is the one place where everybody wants to come again and again. It's very close to the nature in this part of the world, and very decent people. Right from the time when we landed today at the airport, my two colleagues from my UK office, Paul Chamberlain and Paul Nott, they are our technical team. And so we were talking on the way to the hotel, how beautiful and lot of greenery is in your town. The purpose of our visit to share our knowledge and experience what we have gained, being the #1 supplement company in the world. And in a short while I am going to make a video presentation which will give you an insight where we stand in the world market, what are our strengths. And NBTY is a corporate entity which control the multi-brand company. We are a multi-brand company, and Solgar is our premium brand. As you know, Solgar is known as a Rolls-Royce of a vitamins. Is a brand which is a 100% science-based brand with a very, very high raw material which is used in this brand. If you have any question, if you have, please make it a note at the end of our presentation. We will try to answer all whatever we can today. If anything which we are not able to answer, we will get back to your management and they will share that information with you. Once again, thank you very much coming to attend this lecture tour, taking time from your busy schedule, and I hope you will find it is a very informative, because I believe this is the first nutraceuticals kind of a seminar or lecture in this part of the world. I'll give you the short video presentation.
For over 45 years, across 6 continents and in over 100 countries, NBTY has been a leader in the wellness industry, focused on creating a healthier future for all of us. A future where wellness is reflected in every part of our culture, where nutrition is fundamental to well-being, and where vitamins and supplements can help bridge nutritional gaps and improve our quality of life. Our mission is to enhance the well-being of our customers globally by delivering the highest quality, best value nutritional supplements and wellness products. This mission is shared by the over 14,000 NBTY associates that are the heart and soul of our company. Dedication to our mission has helped NBTY become an outstanding global success and a recognized leader, pioneer, and innovator in the nutritional supplement industry. To serve the diverse needs of our consumers worldwide, NBTY has the capacity to produce our high-quality nutritional supplements in a variety of forms: tablets, capsules, soft gels, bars, drinks, powders, and gummies. Our vast infrastructure spans the globe with facilities in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, China, the Netherlands, Spain, South Africa, and New Zealand. As the world's population grows and ages, people will continue to look to NBTY for new and innovative ways to maintain their health and increase longevity through diet, exercise, and proper nutrition. Quality assurance is built into everything we do. In every stage, from formula design to delivery, NBTY is constantly looking for new, innovative ways to increase safety and assure quality. There are over 400 people whose sole job is to source the finest ingredients in the world to verify their potency and purity, and to combine them into formulas that will serve the changing needs of today's health enthusiast. Our products are created under the watchful eyes of our trained technicians and scientists, each one dedicated to maintaining the highest quality standards in every product we make. We carefully inspect each ingredient to make sure it not only meets government specifications, but also meets our own strict standards. Test after test verifies the purity of every component defined by such global standards as the United States Pharmacopoeia, the European Pharmacopoeia, National Formulary, Food Chemicals Codex, and Chinese Herbal. As part of our commitment to quality, NBTY only uses ingredients from suppliers that meet our stringent quality assurance standards, as well as GMP food quality standards. We know they're the finest ingredients because we test them ourselves in our own state-of-the-art laboratories. At NBTY, we don't just test and retest our products. We put our people and even our laboratories to the test too. No matter where an NBTY product is sold, we can guarantee that it meets or exceeds the highest possible quality standards. Our brands are trusted by health-conscious consumers around the world who rely on them to enhance their health. Our extensive brand portfolio features some of the most trusted names in the industry, including Solgar, Metrex, Pure Protein, Osteo Biflex, Sundown, Disney Gummy Vitamins, and our premier brand, Nature's Bounty. Nature's Bounty is not only one of the most trusted and long-standing brands in the U.S., but it can now be found on the shelves of consumers around the globe. Nature's Bounty offers effective products for what matters most to health, with targeted wellness solutions for heart, digestion, brain, immune health, energy, and more. With over 25,000 products, NBTY offers consumers many paths to wellness. NBTY's dedication to wellness extends far beyond the people who buy and use our products. From the products we make and sell to our passion for assisting those in need through working with worldwide charitable organizations like Vitamin Angels and NBTY Helping Hands. Helping others has always been an important part of our culture. Throughout the world, people from all walks of life are unified in the desire to be healthy. It is just one of many reasons why NBTY products are being actively consumed by healthy people in over 100 countries and counting. At NBTY, we are committed to more than just creating the highest quality vitamins and supplements. We are committed to a future in which we empower people all around the world to be their healthy best.
Introduction about our company. We are the world #1 company, over $3.5 billion, and our core business is only nutraceuticals, only supplements. This is our only business, and we are a multi-brand company operating over 108 countries now. Year after year, the growth is giving us a confidence to bring more quality product, which is in a very nascent stage in this part of the world, but very soon you will see these kind of product and this industry. The growth which we are experiencing in this part, it is 5 times than the industry growth, particularly in a GCC. Solgar is our gold standard brand, which is in your hand. Whenever you are with your consumer or with your customer, please be a confidence because you are offering the world best brand to your customer. So you yourself be a confident what brand and what company is behind this brand. If you have any question during the deliberations, please do ask us. We want to know the feedback from you all. And we are going to conduct these kind of a once in a 2 years lecture tour in future also. Once again, thank you very much for coming, and I hope this session is going to be a very, very informative. As Paul Chamberlain, he has a very vast experience, and Paul not in this related to this industry, and they will give you Paul.
Okay, good afternoon, first of all. It's a great honour and privilege for Paul and I to be invited here to speak to you. It is a beautiful country. We're a little bit sad that we're only here for such a short time. Even the immigration guy was trying to convince us to stay for a bit longer when he found out that we were only here for a day, and I can see why. So I think next time we'll stay for a bit longer. But anyway, it's a great pleasure for us to be here. We're excited to be able to talk to you today. And my job really is just to kind of introduce the session today, and then I'm going to hand the first part of this over to Paul to take you through some of the foundation principles and multivitamins and mineral absorption and so on. And in fact, I've got an outline. There we go. And then I'll talk to you about vitamin D and essential fatty acids in particular. Now, we want to focus the second half of this very much on inflammation. So essential fatty acids play an important role there, and quite an important sort of fundamental sort of controlling role actually. So it'll be interesting just to explore that versus some of the ways that you might approach inflammation using drugs. And then we'll finish off. We want to introduce a new product that we've launched. You don't have yet because we'll have to do some registrations with your ministry. We just want to give you a little brief taste of that so that when that arrives in your market, you know a little bit about it. And then we'll finish off with glucosamine, hyaluronic acid, MSM, skin, nails and hair. Okay, so that's roughly how we're going to structure the session. And before we do any of that, I just want to just show you this slide, just to sort of give a sense of, you know, perhaps a slightly philosophically different context that Paul and I perhaps approach this from versus the way that you will approach things. So you will approach things very much from the, you know, using medication, drugs to treat symptoms of diseases, which is of course very important to be able to do, to treat symptoms. But we've got our tree here to sort of demonstrate the fact that a lot of these things up here, the part of the tree that you can see are the symptoms. You know, those are the presenting problems. These are the issues that people come to you to ask for advice about. And invariably you can recommend various types of drugs to help control those symptoms. Now, the way that Paul and I tend to approach things from a nutritional medicine point of view, and it's not to say that one is right and one is wrong, they're actually very complementary approaches. I just want to give you an understanding of how we approach things, just so that we want to understand how you approach things as well. We tend to look at what are the factors underlying the symptoms. So the bit of the tree that you can't see is the roots. And in ill health, often it's the bits that you can't see that are the root causes of the problem. So from a nutritional standpoint, often what we're dealing with are root causes, particularly when we're talking about things like essential fatty acid deficiency or vitamin D deficiency or any kind of nutrient deficiency actually. By addressing that deficiency, you'll correct an underlying issue and therefore make a lot of health issues better. Okay, so it's a different and complementary approach, I think, to the traditional sort of medical way of approaching things. So I just wanted to give you that sense of our sort of view of this, just so that you can understand where we're coming from with it. So with that, I'll hand the first session over to Paul, or the other Paul, and then I will see you again shortly.
Sorry, I'll just hold it. Is that okay? Hello. Thank you for having us, and let's dive straight into it. We're going to talk a bit about an introduction on why it's important to take maybe a multivitamin, why it's important to take an essential fatty acid. Paul's then going to cover your vitamin Ds and some of your anti-inflammatories. So in terms of manufacturing a supplement, you know, this takes a lot of effort, a lot of science, a lot of money as well, but most importantly, it takes a lot of research. You know, people come to us and say, well, we saw a product advertised in the newspaper over the weekend. Can we have that product? Well, we could do that product. You know, if you told us on Friday, we could probably have it for you on Monday, provided registration. But the point is we won't do a product like that. Okay. We will only do products, and we'll only produce nutraceuticals that have at least years and years and years of research. And years of research in humans. Okay, you need to go through the process to get there, and that takes a while. So that's when people ask us to design products, to formulate a product, you're looking at the research first. Obviously, demand is really important. You need to make sure there's actually a market for the product. Cost would be an important factor as well. So it's pointless producing a product that's going to cost $1,000 a month, for example, as a nutraceutical, because certain people certainly wouldn't take that. In terms of the viability and the absorption, those are the next most important things we look at. You know, are people going to swallow 25 capsules a day? Unlikely. Are they going to prefer to take 1 or 2 capsules, maybe 3 capsules a day? That's more likely. The important thing when making a capsule as well, you need to make sure it's actually digested in the system. And we'll go through that in a few minutes. The format. So we make different formats of supplements as well. For example, S to C, we do a basic ascorbic acid. Then we do more advanced formulas that actually are better absorbed. So people with special needs or special requirements, we do the formulas, we do the basic supplements, then we do the more advanced formulas as well. In terms of tablets versus capsules, most people, and we've been in Dubai for a couple of days, and every single one of the pharmacists we spoke to recommend or thought that a capsule is absorbed better than a tablet, and with a liquid or a tincture being the best overall. And there actually is no science to that. Okay, provided it's a well-made tablet, a well-made capsule, and obviously a liquid. So a well-made tablet can be absorbed just as well as a capsule or a liquid. But the advantages with tablets is that you can actually get more into your tablet. So when you're talking about viability and cost, it's cheaper to produce a tablet, yes, but you can also get more ingredients into the tablet, yes, but it also means the dosage is probably going to be smaller. For example, we make certain products, one in a capsule and one in a tablet, and the capsule version is exactly double the dose. So 2 capsules a day as opposed to 1 of the tablets. Okay. The other advantages with tablets, provided the cost and absorbability, is that we can design them that they're actually broken down in the stomach at the correct time, in the correct release mechanism. You can't really guarantee that with a liquid, whereas a tablet, we can guarantee how long it's going to take to digest. Now, we have a digestive, and part of the USP pharmacopoeia, we have to do disintegration tests. And all of our products have to dissolve within around, it's under 40 minutes. Okay. And they do this test, we have what's called a stomach simulator. They do this test in a simulator which contains a weak hydrochloric acid solution, and then they time it. Okay. So now we could compress a tablet really hard so it passes through the stomach. But if it's going to pass through the stomach undigested, it's certainly not going to release and digest in the small intestine. Okay. So these are little things we look at when making a tablet. We look at worst case scenarios. We try and put the best ingredients in that are possibly available. And the most important thing as well, we do it at the therapeutic dose. Okay, we're going to go through that in a few minutes as well. So most countries have dietary guidelines. So these are the guidelines set by the government, which gives you your bare minimum of nutrients, vitamins and minerals we should have every day. Okay, I think we call them the RDA. Are they called the RDA here? Okay, so that's the recommended daily allowance. Okay. So we tend to call it the ridiculous daily allowance, because important things to understand about RDA is that they're the bare minimum you should take. They're not the maximum. Okay, so somewhere between the RDA, which is your bare minimum, and the top dose is your upper limit, which obviously we don't want to exceed either, there's a range called a therapeutic dose. So we produce our nutraceuticals and our supplements and our vitamins at this therapeutic dose. And that's what happens when you recommend a product. They take the required dose, they come back after a month or two and you ask how you're feeling, has this corrected whatever you're looking at to work with, and they go, yes, I'm feeling 100%. Perfect, that worked really well. That's because the product's at the therapeutic dose. On the other hand, you could possibly give a cheaper product. They take it for a month or two, they come back after the 2 months, how do you feel? No. I don't feel anything. That's not what you want. That person's not going to come back to you. That person's not going to say, I went to the doctor down the road and he did this for me, and after a month or after 2 months or after 3 months, I feel 100%, I feel great. That's what you're looking for. And the reason you get that is because we base things at the therapeutic dose. Okay? So it's not the upper limit, which obviously we try and stay away from, but it's not the RDA either. Okay. So the RDA for zinc, for example, in Oman is 15 milligrams. Okay, so this is the government set guideline to reach your bare minimum of zinc every day of 15 milligrams. Look how many kilograms you would have to eat of, for example, lettuce and cashew nuts and poached salmon, 3.1 kilograms of salmon to reach your RDA of 15 milligrams. Now, I love salmon, but 3 kilograms is a bit much. A whole cup of sunflower seeds to reach your RDA. Sunflower seeds are a rich source of zinc, for example, but you'd have to do this every day. Not very practical. So if people aren't eating these quantities of food, they're not actually reaching their RDAs as well. And there are other factors which may increase a person's need for supplements. So we looked at the food intakes versus the RDA and the estimated average requirements in the UAE. And this is a massive table which I've actually reduced and just highlighted some of the points. So these are the guidelines the governments are saying to meet your RDAs. But when they measured this group of people, and I just took the group of males between 14 and 18 years old, so basically adolescents, 99% weren't reaching the requirement for vitamin A. 99%. Okay. 100% which weren't reaching the requirement for vitamin D. Okay. This is your minimum requirement. If 100% of the population, or certainly in this group, weren't reaching the requirement, what does that bode in terms of the future? Zinc, 70% weren't reaching the guidelines. And in terms of the My Pyramid recommendations, again, it's amount of fruit and vegetables the agencies tend to recommend we should eat. And in this country, in the UAE, it's recommending 2 cups of fruit a day, 3 cups of vegetables, and lean meats. And roughly, 75 to 100% of people of this group were not reaching their minimum requirements. There are other factors which actually may also increase your need for these minimum requirements. So there's certain lifestyle factors that people do. Medical conditions, example diabetes and heart disease, actually increase your need for certain supplements. Okay, we know vitamin D is a really important remedy. Diabetes, for example, does increase your need for vitamin D specifically. Poor digestion and absorption. So if you have a digestive issue, things like Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, we know those people can be low in vitamin D, they can be low in B12, they can be low in iron. So these are groups of people who may have a slightly increased need for maybe, for example, giving them a supplement. And obviously there are lifestyle factors which may increase certain needs for nutrients. People who exercise, and they exercise excessively, increases your requirement for nutrients. People who smoke increases the requirements for nutrients. So if we're not reaching the RDAs, we maybe have some of these other lifestyle factors associated. This doesn't bode well for long-term, and certainly for long-term health. So what can we do about it? Basic recommendation I often recommend is a multivitamin, vitamin D, a well-absorbed mineral, which we'll go through in a few minutes, essential fatty acid, and then Paul's going to talk about 1 or 2 other remedies as well. Okay. So foundation number 1, the pillar. One of your pillars to health. Your multivitamin. So it's important when you consider prescribing and selling a multivitamin to look at the strength of the B vitamins, for example, in the multivitamin. So are they based at the RDA or are they based at a therapeutic dose? So we know people have extra needs, so it's probably more beneficial to base a multivitamin at the therapeutic dose. Look at the strength of minerals in the formula. Does it actually have all the minerals in it? There's many multivitamins which I've seen over the years which have 10 ingredients. That's not a multivitamin. You know, they've left some things out. They've probably left the expensive ingredients out as well, like chromium and magnesium, which take up a lot of space. That's not a multivitamin. So read the labels, look at the levels of vitamins, look at the levels of minerals, and look at the types of minerals they've included in the formula as well. Anyone can make a multivitamin with the really cheap forms of the minerals. We choose not to do that. We choose to put in our multivitamins the forms of minerals that the body utilizes, that the body can absorb, which means that you have improved absorbability, but also less chance of side effects and less chances of interactions. And look at the little things that you can add, say little things, other extras you can add to multivitamin, things like phytonutrients. So who probably knows phytonutrients, sort of antioxidants, everyone familiar with? Phytonutrients tend to be a newer term we use for antioxidants. Phytonutrients are what gives plants their color, what give vegetables the yellow, the red, the green colors, the rainbow of colors. These are the phytonutrients which help protect the system. Okay. But your multivitamin is definitely an essential for your lifestyle. And the reason is because of this. We affectionately call it scary metabolism diagram. Okay. So this is basically a summary of how your body would digest protein, carbohydrates, and dietary fats to go and make ATP. Now, we're all familiar with ATP as the source of energy in the human. So ATP is the molecule that runs the human. ATP is the molecule that gives you energy. ATP is the molecule that drives the enzymes and drives the chemistry. But look at every single step in this process requires either a vitamin and a mineral, and probably both. So we can prescribe energy-giving supplements, for example, some of your herbs, maybe ginsengs, maybe CoQ10s, things like that. But if you're deficient in these vitamins and minerals, do you think they're going to work effectively? Probably not. And that's one of the most important things I say when people come and see me. They say, well, I've seen this remedy in the newspaper. It costs, I don't know, $1,000 a month, let's say, and it's apparently good for energy. And I go, great, that's fine. Where's your multivitamin? Where's your foundation? Where's your pillar for health? Okay, multivitamins are generally your first of all, your pillar number one for health, for foundation. Without those, almost any of the other nutraceuticals aren't going to work, and they're probably not going to work as effectively, which is what we're looking for. And there's your even scarier metabolism diagram. Okay, I said the first one was a summary, and every single one of these steps, don't worry, I can't see it either, requires a vitamin and a mineral. Okay. So we all talk about liver health, and we prescribe herbs and we prescribe remedies generally that support liver health. So what's the most common? Do we have milk thistle here? The herb? So often milk thistle is prescribed for liver support, let's say. Milk thistle is it's not an essential nutrient. We choose to prescribe it. People choose to take it for various reasons, mostly relating to liver health. But if you're taking milk thistle, which is going to support this process, the cytochrome P450, which is the phase 1 detoxification in the liver. But if you're lacking in these vitamins and minerals, things like zinc, copper, magnesium, B6, the milk thistle is actually not going to work as well as you expect. Okay, so again, foundations for health. Don't forget the basics. Don't forget the foundations. We're all familiar with omega-3s and omega-6s. So here's your GLA, here's your EPA and DHA from omega-3. The food sources of omega-6 are written there, things like your plants, your seeds, and your nuts. The food sources of, those omega-6s, food sources of omega-3s tend to be your algae and your fish oil. So we prescribe these remedies for people who come and see us. And they take them, they go out and take them. But look, every single enzyme in this process requires a vitamin and mineral. Okay, so giving a multivitamin is going to make the fish oil, the 369, whatever remedy you choose to prescribe, work better. And these are the other reasons we have a higher requirement for vitamins and minerals. Your body uses a lot of them up. And the more it's exposed to these types of things, the more vitamins and minerals your body is going to utilize. So we introduced our top-of-the-range multivitamin called Omnium. Okay, so Omnium's been around a few years for us, but it's one of the Rolls-Royce of multivitamins. And the reasons are, look at the formulas. So when I spoke about 10 or 20 ingredients, This is 2 pages of ingredients. Okay. So the minerals we tend to use are as bisglycinates. The magnesium there is a bisglycinate. All the vitamins and minerals are in here as well, all the vitamins, but we've added some extras. Things like coenzyme Q10, things like alpha-lipoic acid, things like phosphatidylserine. Also added are things grapeseed, pine bark extract, broccoli extract, N-acetylcysteine, standardized turmeric, citrus biflavonoids. We don't have to add those formulas, those extra ingredients into the formula to make it effective, but we choose to because it makes a more holistic formula and it makes your body recognize it more as a food, which means you're going to tend to utilize more of the ingredients and you're going to get a better result. Now, if you had to buy some of these ingredients, especially the coenzyme Q10s, the phosphatidylserine, the N-acetylcysteine, and the biflavonoids separately, which you can do, it's going to probably cost you 10 times as much as the multivitamin costs. Okay, so sometimes it's cheaper in the long run to give a multivitamin as a good starting base. But certainly try and choose a multivitamin that has the right sort of minerals in it, the right sort of vitamins, and maybe these added ingredients such as phytonutrients. Looking at the minerals, I know you guys are familiar with iron and other minerals. It's important to understand how they're absorbed, and we call this mineral chelation or chelation. Chelation or chelation. Sorry? Chelation. Yeah, we call it, chelation. Okay, so mineral chelation is how your body absorbs minerals. Now, when calcium, for example, does not occur by itself in nature, you can't buy calcium, you can't eat calcium, but you can eat a product, a food containing calcium and a carrier. Okay, so calcium occurs as calcium citrate, calcium carbonate, calcium gluconate, various other forms of calcium. We're just using calcium as an example. Okay, so when you're prescribing a calcium, it's important to look at the carrier that's bound with the mineral, and this will tell you how well the product is absorbed. Okay, and this process is called chelation. But in order for your body to absorb a mineral, it needs to split the mineral up from the carrier. And in certain instances, for example, calcium carbonate, form of mineral chelate, that will require lots of stomach acid, which means probably you're going to get a lower absorption. Okay, and if you think about an older person, we know a lot of older people suffer with hypochlorhydria, low stomach acid. So giving them a form of a mineral that requires lots of stomach acid for dissociation may not be the most appropriate. So, for example, then we do calcium in a citrate. Calcium citrate requires less stomach acid for absorption, so that's better. But the best form, for example, is calcium bound to an amino acid, because minerals are absorbed